Good evening.
But man,
Yes, ma'am.
Tyree. Go ahead. Doing all right? Can do this out on the street on Thursday.
Good evening. I would like to call the Monday, May 6, 2024 Dalton City Council meeting to order. We'll ask for Mr. Lama to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have before you an agenda. I will ask for an approval.
The agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any public comments? I believe, Matthew, if you would like to speak at either place would be just fine.
Absolutely. Good evening, Mayor and Council,
Evening.
everyone. Good evening. I'm really excited and humbled about this opportunity today. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Mayor Sams, Council, Andrew, Todd, Jonathan, so many others that helped put together the resolution on tonight's agenda in commemoration of my dad, Dr. Bishop Stephen A. Thomas, and so many familiar faces here. Amen. Mayor, Council, these are folks from the community, folks from the church that all have been special in Daddy's life, special to our family. They mean a lot to us, and we like to say our church family is part of our family. So to commemorate one is to commemorate all. That's just the way we are and the way we've bonded. To my family, of course, that's here. My mother, wave your hand, Mama. My brother, Stephen, that's here, and his family. My wife and our kids, they're here. Also, my uncle and aunt. My uncle, who's now pastor of the church, my Uncle David, and my Aunt Kay. I'd get into trouble if I started to name too many names individually, but each and every one that's so special here, it is our honor, and with humility, we are excited to celebrate in the resolution and following street dedication of Meeting Street in honor of my dad. So thank you for this time in public comment.
We are delighted to have this opportunity. Some of us, due to some work commitments, will not be able to be present at the dedication on Thursday at 10 a.m. So we would like to take this opportunity to join you after I read this resolution. If you would like to do a photo or anything, but just for everyone to see that our support of how excited as a full mayor and council and as the city we are to have this opportunity. So let me go ahead and read this resolution, which will also be read at the street dedication. A resolution to honor the life and contributions of Bishop Stephen A. Thomas to the city of Dalton. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Stephen A. Thomas, Bishop Thomas, served Community Fellowship Church in the city of Dalton for almost 40 years. And whereas Bishop Thomas was a founder of the Community Fellowship Church of Ministries Outreach Program, which included such programs as the Bethlehem House of Bread, Youth Ministries, Music Ministries, and other outreach programs. And whereas Bishop Thomas was a founder of the Northwest Georgia College of Theology, an extension of the North Carolina College of Theology. And whereas Bishop Thomas served for many years on the Dalton Parks and Recreation Commission, including extensive service as the chair of the commission, and whereas Bishop Thomas was an integral part of the creation of the Matt Gaston Community Center. And whereas Bishop Thomas loved this community and was a proud member of the Dalton High Class of 1980, and whereas whereas Bishop Thomas was a community leader who worked tirelessly to better the lives of the citizens of Dalton, and whereas Bishop Thomas was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather who served as an example to all, and whereas Bishop Thomas served as a mentor to other pastors and to numerous citizens of this community, and whereas Bishop Thomas exemplified service and left a great legacy of serving this community, and whereas the mayor and council of the city of Dalton have determined that Bishop Thomas and the legacy that he has left the community are worthy of high honor and recognition. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Dalton hereby recognize the great contributions of Bishop Thomas to the city of Dalton. Be it further resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Dalton hereby dedicate the portion of Meeting Street from Underwood Street to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in memory of Bishop Dr. Stephen A. Thomas. Be it further resolved that all resolution or parts thereof of the city of Dalton in conflict with the provisions herein contained are, to the extent of such conflict, hereby superseded and repealed. Be it further resolved that these resolutions shall take effect immediately upon their adoption. So resolve this the 6th day of May, 2024. So if you want to join us with At this time, we'll take a very brief break. If anybody wishes to stay for the full meeting, you're welcome to do so. It's a rather lengthy agenda this evening. So if we want to take a moment, people are welcome to go if they wish. Good choice. We'll see you Thursday. Really, really looking forward to it.
Can't use the backrest unless I want to lay down. You got that. Take care.
We'll see you Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. See you Thursday.
Okay,
Thank
looking
you.
forward
Thank
to
you again.
Thank you.
I feel we need to speed it up if we're gonna go.
Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. We're on a date. Date, bye, Reba. Thank y'all. Thank you, sir.
Uh-oh.
Good evening again. We don't have any comment cards, so that completes our public commentary. Do we have any department head reports?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Another proclamation, this is General Aviation Appreciation Month. Andrew Wiermsa, the airport manager, is here this evening. So Andrew, if you want to come down front. I'm always impressed with Dalton, re-impressed on a very regular basis, but to have the airport that we have and what that means for our community and access to it and economic growth is tremendous. So this is exciting to participate in General Aviation Appreciation Month, and joined by, you have your board member Benny Dunn here as well this evening. General Aviation Appreciation Month, May 2024. Whereas Dalton, Georgia has a significant interest in the continued vitality of general aviation, aircraft manufacturing, aviation educational institutions, aviation organizations, and community airports. And whereas general aviation and the Dalton Municipal Airport have a $7.8 million annual economic impact on the city of Dalton. And whereas general aviation not only supports Georgia's economy, it improves overall quality of life by supporting emergency medical and healthcare services, law enforcement, firefighting, disaster relief, investments in sustainable fuels and technologies, and by transporting business travelers to their destinations quickly and safely. And whereas Georgia has 95 public use airports that serve almost 22,700 pilots and more than 8,000 registered aircraft, and is home to 132 repair stations, 15 FAA-approved pilot schools, more than 7,200 student pilots, and more than 4,100 flight instructors. And whereas the National Celebration of Georgia Flyover in Washington, D.C. commemorates the 85th anniversary of the founding of Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Annalise Sams, Mayor of the City of Dalton, Georgia, hereby proclaim general aviation a vital strategic asset and declare May 2024 as General Aviation Appreciation Month to promote future economic growth and our next generation of aviation professionals and pilots. Thanks, Andrew. With that for you. Thanks.
Thanks.
Next on your agenda, you will see the minutes of the mayor and council meeting of April 15th, 2024. I'll ask for an approval.
So move. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. New business, item number 4. Resolution 24-12 to honor the life and contributions of Bishop Stephen A. Thomas to the city of Dalton. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5, resolution 24-13 to authorize use of opioid settlement funds. Andrew?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. As we've discussed at the last few Finance Committee meetings and the work sessions with various presentations, the city is a participant in the National Opioid Settlement. To date, the city has received approximately $130,000 in settlement funds. These funds can only be used for authorized uses identified in the settlement agreement. And so, in consultation with the city attorney and chief financial officer and staff, we have reviewed a plan to spend some of these funds to provide services to our community, those in our community that may or may not be affected by this opioids epidemic. Those three uses are Human Trafficking Prevention Conference, which will include the training of healthcare personnel on the identification and treatment of opioid use disorder and trauma resulting therefrom. Operational funds for Narcotics Anonymous, the local chapter, and a partnership with Whitfield County's Conasauga Community Addiction Recovery Center. You may recall the presentation at a month or so ago at a work session regarding their programs. And so this resolution authorizes the city administrator to begin formulating the agreements and expenditure of funds for these specific uses not to exceed $130,000. Be glad to answer any questions.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next item is going to be item number 6, memorandum of understanding with Hamilton Medical Center for 340B drug pricing program.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and certainly, Mr. City Attorney, if you have anything to add, please weigh in. But the background on this is that Hamilton is a not-for-profit hospital that provides healthcare services to those on Medicare and Medicaid. In addition to other programs they offer to benefit the indigent, uninsured, or underinsured population within the community. And so we have an MOU that's been presented to the city for consideration. And what this MOU does, it accepts Hamilton Medical Center's commitment to provide service to those noted above, so indigent, uninsured, underinsured. The MOU provides that the hospital will ensure that all patients presenting to its emergency department continue to receive necessary care required by law, regardless of ability to pay. The city, if entered into this MOU, acknowledges that the healthcare services provided by the hospital are in the public interest and are being provided to individuals who are not entitled to benefits under the Social Security Act or eligible for assistance under any state plan pursuant to the Social Security Act. And the city acknowledges the hospitals providing these services at no reimbursement or for considerably less than the full reimbursement from the patients. And the last bullet point is really what this distills down to. By entering into this agreement, it allows the Hamilton Medical under the 340B program of the Health Resources and Services Administration to receive certain drug discounts based on its care of uninsured and low-income patients. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
If no questions, I'll
Motion to approve.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have item number 7, Georgia Classic Main Streets Memorandum of Understanding to provide for services for the 2023-2024 program year.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Candace had a conflict this evening, but this is the annual Georgia Main Street MOU. For those of you that have been on the council sometime, you might remember this comes up about this time every year. But what this does is we enter into a multi-party agreement with the Georgia DCA Classic Main Street program, whereby DCA provides services to the city and the Downtown Development Authority in return for active participation in the program. The scope of the MOU is that the city, if entered into this agreement, agrees to appoint an entity to serve as the board of directors for the Main Street program. That, in this case, would be the DDDA board. The city agrees to employ a full-time paid professional downtown manager. It also provides for local Main Street program solvency through a variety of direct and in-kind financial support. As many of you know, we provide office space to the DDDA here, two offices on the second floor. So that's in-kind support. The DDDA board enters into this agreement, and it agrees to assist the downtown manager in creating an annual work plan and providing regular public engagement opportunities. And the board also agrees to conduct a planning retreat once per year. If approved, this agreement will be valid through June 30th, 2025. And again, currently we're an accredited classic Main Street agency. So this will allow us to keep that accreditation in place.
Move we approve. Yes. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 8, local government approval for certification of consistency for Northwest Georgia Family Crisis Center.
I think I'll take this one. Madam Mayor, Cindy couldn't be here this evening. Again, this is something that pops up annually from time to time. In this case, the Northwest Georgia Family Crisis Center has applied for emergency shelter funds, and the program that they have are those that are for potentially emergency shelter for those that are in an abuse situation in our community. In order for DCA to consider this request, the council has to certify that the proposed expenditure is consistent with the city's consolidated plan. And Cindy and her team and our consultant have reviewed this request and have indicated that it is consistent with the consolidated plan, and these funds provide for those that are really in a tough position in our community, and the Northwest Georgia Family Crisis Center is doing great work with these funds.
Questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, item number 9, contract with R.W. Smith Company for construction of new P&E building at the police department.
Madam Mayor, I'll take that one, and Captain Woods is here, who helped Chief Kaysen in delivery of this project. But this was one of the 2020 SPLOST referendum projects approved by the voters. And what this does is, as you see on the screen, and as we've talked about in work sessions and finance committee meetings for the last few months, this is to add a property and evidence building just immediately north of the existing police service center. As we've discussed, the existing property and evidence room is at capacity, and staff has a big task every day managing that existing room when there's very limited space. So this will provide some much needed space to move the property and evidence that's required to be in storage. Kenneth Harless did the architectural plans for the project, and 5 proposals were received when we placed this project out for proposals on April the 2nd. The highest scoring proposal out of the 5 was from R.W. Smith Company. They're located in Marietta. Their base proposal was $3,765,291. And we made actually internally several deductive alternates. The project was initially more than this, and we made some cost-cutting measures through value engineering to get this project down below $4 million. And the construction timeline, if approved, is that we intend to issue notice to proceed this month, soon after the council approves it. And if we do, the contractor and the city have agreed on a final completion date of June 2025.
Any discussion? Questions?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 10, professional services agreement with GeoHydro Engineers, Inc. for geotechnical services at the new P&E building at the police department.
This is related to the last business item. This is an agreement with GeoHydro to provide the third-party geotechnical inspection services on the project. That second bullet point shows you what all they will be doing during the work of the contractor, but it's primarily soil testing for foundation strength and observation of the placement of reinforcing steel on the project, inspecting the masonry work. This will give us that third-party testing service to overlook what the contractor's doing. The cost of this agreement is $19,968.
No questions, I'll ask.
Motion to approve.
A motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 11, agreement with KRH Architects, Inc. for Al Rollins Park synthetic turf for infields project. Caitlin?
Yes, good evening. This is a request to approve the agreement with KRH Architects for the Al Rollins Project Synthetic Turf Infields Conversion Project. Using the 2020 bond proceeds, we are proposing to convert those infields from dirt to synthetic turf. The scope that KRH will provide will just assist us in the design of the turf system, stormwater the required stormwater damage structures, and preparing the bid specs. The cost will be 6% of the owner's budget. Anticipated construction date will hopefully be the fall of 2024 and be completed by the end of 2024 or at least by the first quarter of 2025.
If I could add, Mayor and Council, Caitlin and her team commissioned a stakeholder committee to review where this pickleball project would go. We had 2 sites, and the committee selected James Brown Park on the east side of the park. I'm sorry, I'm agenda item ahead, so you'll know that when we get there.
That is still applied.
I'm on autopilot. Sorry about that.
This was discussed and planned with the Recreation Commission and comes with a great deal of support.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Not, all in favor? Any opposed? Next item is item number 12, general construction agreement with Southern Flooring, Inc. for Matt Gaston Community Center gym floor replacement.
Yes, this is a request to approve the general construction agreement with Southern Flooring Incorporated. As you can see with the slide, the floor sustained quite a bit of water damage in the summer of 2022. And so we published RFPs to make these repairs in March, and Southern Flooring was the most responsive bid. Their cost will be $136,000 to completely replace the floor system. And the estimated completion date is September 1st. And we have them lined up after this approval to begin work in July. And this was presented to the Recreation Commission and comes with support.
Can I ask a question? Are some of these proceeds, you may have mentioned this, coming from insurance recovery that we had to some damage?
Yes, so we submitted an insurance claim and insurance is covering all but about $2,000 of it.
Motion to approve.
A motion, motion and a second. Any discussion?
How long did you say to be closed?
It'll be closed through August and then up and running by September. It takes 30 days to complete.
So it'll be pretty close to when school starts back when you start.
It will. So we've lined it up to where our summer camps will be out of the gym and before our volleyball season starts.
No other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Caitlin. Now pickleball. Number 13, professional services agreement with Prime Engineering, Inc. for pickleball complex project.
Yes, so Andrew gave you quite a bit of information. Let me see. But yes, so we have a planning committee and we recently, not too long ago, had Prime Engineering help us decide on a site location. They were looking at 2 locations, Al Rollins, the Hennenfield, and then James Brown Avenue Seaside. And after that site analysis, it was the overall agreement that the new complex should be considered at the James Brown Avenue Seaside. So we're requesting to approve the professional service agreement with Prime Engineering to help us with the design and the plans for this new complex. It includes 15 courts, concession restroom buildings, shade structures, lighting, stormwater infrastructure, landscaping, and securing all necessary permits. Their cost is $168,000. The funding source is the 2020 bond proceeds. Completion date for these plans should be at the end of July, which will hopefully maybe get us to that construction date of the fall. And this has not been submitted. This hasn't gone to the Recreation Commission, but I do want to say that the chairperson of the Recreation Commission is part of the planning committee, and she is 100% aware of where it's going and supportive, and she feels that the rest of the Recreation Commission will support this too.
And certainly the commission knew that this was in the
Yes.
works. So,
They were hoping for the James Brown area.
Motion to approve.
motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 14, Wilson Construction Management Pence and Kyler Streetscape Construction Contract. Chad?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to approve the construction contract with Wilson Construction Management for the Pence and Kyler Streetscape project. This project will complete the original streetscape master plan that was developed some 24 years ago. The total cost of the contract is $8,196,318. Approximately $2 million of the project will be subsidized by the Improving Neighborhood Outcomes Grant we were awarded by the Office of Planning and Budgeting. The duration of the project is 365 calendar days from notice to proceed, and this comes with a positive recommendation from the Public Works Committee. With that, I'll take any questions.
If none,
Motion to approve.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 15, Crater Alley Stormwater Detention Facility Construction Contract with Summers Taylor, Inc.
This request is to approve the construction contract with Summers Taylor, Inc. for the Prater Alley Stormwater Detention Facility project. The total cost of the contract came in approximately $300,000 under budget at $1,134,188 and is expected to take approximately 6 months to complete. And this comes with a positive recommendation from the Public Works Committee as well.
When can it get started?
Following notice to proceed, we anticipate having that meeting within the next week or two. So I would say within the next month or so.
Any questions?
I would just, for the purposes of the public, if you'd sort of identify where it's located in the city.
So actually directly across from the parking lot here, you can see the construction activity already taking place. Public Works started on the demo aspect of it today, actually. So
I just want to be sure everybody knew where it was.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Chad. Item number 16, GDOT tentative allocation of grant funds for runway rehabilitation at the airport. Andrew?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, our runway at the airport is just over a mile long. It has not been resurfaced since the mid-1980s. In 2018, it had a PCI score of 66. And since then, we've had about 50,000 takeoffs and landings. So it's probably quite a bit lower than that now. In 2009, the PCI on our main parking ramp was about 15. And we started seeking some funding federal funding to replace that ramp. It took 9 years for us to get that discretionary funds from the FAA. So this is very exciting. We just got a tentative allocation of $5 million, 2.4 million in federal funds and 2.63 million in state funds to resurface the runway this year. And we just received federal funding to do the design for this project in late 2021 or late 2022. So we just completed the design on this and it is ready to bid tomorrow. So this is pretty exciting. This will require a local match of $966,666. The federal funds, 2.4 million, comes at a 90%, with a 5% state match and a 5% local match. And then the 2.63 million of state funds comes at a 75% with a 25% local match. Enclosed is a letter which supports and accepts the state and federal funds, and just approves the local match portion for that. Any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Item number 17, Public Safety Threat Alliance Membership Agreement. Jorge?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. The City of Dalton IT Department is seeking a no-cost approval for a membership. With this membership, we're looking to enter the agreement so that the City of Dalton can receive information of cybersecurity intelligence to increase the cybersecurity maturity to the entire public safety landscape. This membership agreement, again, like I said, it's at no cost to the city, and it's been reviewed by the city attorney, and we can cancel this membership within 30 days with written notice.
We
Guys have
love
any
you.
questions?
You're the first one to come with no request for money.
All right,
Motion to approve.
thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I know we have representatives from the Dalton Housing Authority. Item number 18 are the Housing Authority appointments. To note, this includes an expansion of several new members as the board has expanded to a 9-member board. The appointment list is in front of you. These include, for a 5-year term to expire 5/6 of 2029, Lindsay Bethel. To expire 5/6 of 29, Roy Acosta. To expire 5/6 of 29, Dr. Richard Hill. And to serve the balance of the term that was held by, seat that was held by Courtney Brock, to expire 10/14 of 26 is Pallavi Manay. If there's any questions or discussion of these, I would invite that now. If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I move that we approve all these new members.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. No, none up and any opposed. Thank you for being here this evening, and we're excited to see that board grow and do more work on top of all the good things it's already doing. So thank you all for being here. Item number 19 is ordinance 24-07, the request of Juan Figueroa to rezone from heavy manufacturing M2 to rural residential R5, attractive land totaling 0.25 acres located at 911 Riverbend Road, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-255-03-029. Hi.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Mayor. I'm Jean Garland,
Yes,
County
ma'am.
Zoning Administrator, standing in for Ethan Calhoun tonight. This particular applicant failed to show at 2 consecutive planning commission meetings. The standards and procedures state that the governing authority has to give it a negative decision when it comes before you. So I ask that you do that.
Is, just out of curiosity, has there been any contact with the
I have
person?
given him multiple phone calls. He lives in Chatsworth. He has not returned my call, so I just really don't know why he didn't show. This is not the first time that he has done this, so I think he's just overextended.
Okay. Does the board send any kind of a certified letter letting him know it's
Yes,
been denied?
yes.
So
As soon
he'll,
as you make your decision, I will send that.
and
out.
he'll have the reason why, that it was for his
Yes,
failure to.
Yes,
And Counselor, if I'm not mistaken, this needs to be a motion to deny.
Okay, motion to deny.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Steve?
Gene, refresh my memory. It's been a while since I've looked at all. Is there a time limit then that he can come back and reapply?
12 months
12 months.
from the date of your decision.
That's what I thought.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll ask for a motion to deny.
You had it.
Okay, sorry, I have a motion and a second. All in favor of denying?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is denied. Thank you. Item number 20. Ordinance 24-08, the request of Adriana Juarez to rezone from low-density, single-family residential R2 to general agricultural GA to attractive land totaling 10.49 acres with 9.41 acres in the unincorporated county at tax parcel 12-127-02-005 and 1.08 acres in the city of Dalton, tax parcel 12-127-02-014 located at 402 Brooker Drive, Dalton, Georgia. County parcel 12-127-02-005, city parcel 12-127-02-014.
This is an unusual request in that the parcel that the applicant is requesting to be rezoned are part in the city, part in the county. So both municipal or governing authorities have to make a decision. A very small portion of this property on the southern end, which is adjacent to the golf courses in the city. The applicant is trying to rezone the property to agricultural in order to have a guest house on their property. Agricultural is the only zoning district we have which allows 2 dwellings, so that's the purpose of the rezoning request. It got a unanimous recommendation to approve from the Planning Commission. So we ask that you make a decision on the city's portion of this request.
Can they put like anything else on it besides like?
No, sir. I mean, you're asking, they'd have to subdivide it in order to put anything else other than this second dwelling on there.
So it would have to come back for different zoning.
That's correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
One more, since it's part city and part county, is there a way like if they wanted to get, I guess, de-annex or annex in, they could still?
Yes,
do
sir.
that?
They certainly have the right to do that. It would have to come back before you, of course.
Have you ever had one like this before that has like both?
Do not recall, no, sir. As a matter of fact, the applicant was very surprised that they were part in the city, part in the county.
And has the county already approved? their
They will
portion?
do so next week.
Yeah, no. Where's the golf course you talking?
He was wondering what part of it would be the golf course? Like, is it the back or the bottom?
Can you move that one?
I think it's in this general area, right between the
Yeah, the red part is the golf. course,
red.
yes.
Oh,
I guess just procedurally, does it take approval of both governmental entities for the tract to be rezoned, or could conceivably part of it be rezoned and the other part?
I suppose it's possible, but since they requested it all
Yeah.
In one application, I think we probably need to
Sure.
take both under consideration.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 21, ordinance 24-09, the request of TCW Dalton LLC to de-annex 19.84 acres located at 3035 Parquet Drive, Dalton, Georgia, tax parcel 12-352-10-0000 from the city of Dalton as heavy manufacturing M2, parcel 12-352-10-000.
I'll take this one, Madam Mayor. This request was something we briefed the council on in a prior meeting when the Hamilton Lofts project was coming into the city. The county made a request that we take 2 parcels out of the city. One you've already done, which was the Kobayashi tract on the South Bypass. The second one was this 19-acre tract on South Hamilton Extension that is adjoined with the unincorporated county to the west. And the JDA believes that this site would be more marketable in the county. It's been undeveloped for many, many years. It's got some environmental challenges. And so this is the last part of the understanding between the city and the county on the annexation, de-annexation grouping, the three parcels, this one, the Kobayashi and Hamilton Lofts. And this, I believe, did have a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Any questions? If not, ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 23, ordinance 24-11, the request of Christian Heritage Schools, Inc. to annex 28.55 acres located at 1600 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Dalton, Georgia, tax parcel 12-216-03-000 into the city of Dalton as low-density, single-family residential R2. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped one. Okay. Correction, we'll do item 22. Ordinance 24-10, the request of the city of Dalton to annex 50.06 acres located at 1022 Enterprise Drive, Dalton, Georgia, tax parcel 13-048-01-000 into the city of Dalton as heavy manufacturing M2. Parcel 13-048-01-000.
This property is owned by Dalton Utilities, City of Dalton. It will come into the city at their request, at your request, as M2 Heavy Manufacturing. It received a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Any questions?
Is there anything on the site right now?
There is,
Substation.
Okay. All right. Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now, item 23. Ordinance 24-11, the request of Christian Heritage Schools, Inc. to annex 28.55 acres located at 1600 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Dalton, Georgia, tax parcel 12-216-0-03-000 into the city of Dalton as low-density, single-family residential R2.
Christian Heritage is expanding their campus on the south side of MLK Boulevard, and they are requesting to annex their property, because the vast majority of the Christian Heritage properties inside the city of Dalton. They're requesting to add this portion on the south side also into the city of Dalton.
I have a question, Gene. While we're doing this, is there a more appropriate zoning since the use of the property is not for single-family dwellings, it's for a school?
You know, most of our schools are zoned residential, Mr.
Okay.
Farrow.
Okay,
They're allowed in any zoning district, but most of them are residential simply because in order to make them a higher zoning district, it would enable other adjacent properties to feed off of that. So we just usually leave them residential.
understand. Okay, just ask.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 24, ordinance 24-12, the request of the city of Dalton to annex 15.26 acres located on Old Hagmill Lake Road, Dalton, Georgia, tax parcel 12-12-17-000, parcel 12-122-005-000, and parcel 12-122-16-000 into the city of Dalton as low-density, single-family residential R2.
Again, this is a request that came from the city of Dalton to annex Hagmill Lake Park. A portion of it, I believe, was inside the city limits, and this will get the remainder of the park inside the city. The zoning will not change. It received a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Move with. Approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 25, ordinance 24-13, the request of the City of Varnell Mayor and Council and City of Dalton Mayor and Council to amend the Unified Zoning Ordinance text.
We have a few amendments that we'd like to propose to the Unified Zoning Ordinance. And with your permission, I'll just go through each one quickly. The first one is to add C1A as a zoning district that requires a site plan when someone is requesting to be rezoned. It is the only zoning district we have that allows multifamily, that we do not require a site plan. And we just felt like it would give the governing authorities an opportunity to see what the petitioner planned before they made a decision on rezoning. So it just kind of brings all of those zoning districts into line. The second one is the cemetery amendments. This was brought to our attention by Attorney Tom Minor. He was doing some work on a cemetery, and we discovered that our zoning ordinance didn't reflect the current state requirement for cemeteries. So this is just kind of a cleanup housekeeping item. We're trying to make our ordinance show what the state requires for cemeteries. The third one is the Board of Zoning Appeals is the only board that we are aware of that has a time limit for our term limit for members. As you know, how difficult it is to get people to volunteer to be on boards. And if you've got a group of people that are volunteering, we certainly don't want to restrict them, saying that they can only serve 2 consecutive terms and then they're off the board. We have an excellent Board of Zoning Appeals right now. The city has nominated some wonderful people, and we certainly want to keep them. The fourth is just another cleanup item. We want to reference our plan review fees for stormwater back to the stormwater ordinance instead of putting a dollar amount in the zoning ordinance. The fifth one is for our permitted use table. Banks, churches, and event centers right now are not allowed in the manufacturing zoning districts. We've had several items where we felt like it would be in the best interest of everyone if we did allow those 3 uses in the manufacturing zoning district. So that's why those are there. The last one is regarding parking standards. We have redone Article 6, which is our parking ordinance, to try to allow more flexibility because we're an MS4 community. It's to our benefit to try to mitigate stormwater runoff and to reduce the amount of impervious surface that we require developers to have. So we've redone that ordinance in order to do that. All of these amendments received a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, and we ask that you approve them also.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you for all of those. There's no supplemental business before this body. I would like to remind everyone that earlier we acknowledged the street dedication that's going to be Thursday at 10 a.m. on Meeting Street in honor of Dr. Bishop Thomas. That's going to be at 10 a.m. So I'd invite anyone to be there, and perhaps that can be captured, Charles, and let people in the community know to come out. We will certainly spread the word on that. And if not, there's no other business before this group. We will stand adjourned, and next meeting is May the 15th. Motion to adjourn. Second?
I'll take the second.
All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Say a motion, but I don't want to make you jump my motion.